Okay, let's start then. So again, hello everyone. Thanks for joining. Welcome to this webinar. If you're tuning in live or if you're watching this recording afterwards, today we will be talking about how Mavenode partnered up with the Norwegian EV charging company Easee. So we have Ross on the call here to help them make their product support operations more efficient and also increase their level of self-service within the user base, reaching up to 70% self-help. More specifically, during the talk, we'll cover some of the challenges that Mavenode has helped Easee overcome, and what the results have been, and also how our different teams work together on a daily basis to push these results through. And if you do have questions during the webinar, supposedly there's a Q&A section here on the Zoom pane that you can pop those questions into, and then we can take them on the go or towards the end if there's time left for questions. I want to introduce myself quickly as well. So I'm Nils. I'm based here in Stockholm, and I work as an account director at Mavenode. And what this means is that I form part of the organization that makes sure our customers are successful with the services, and that we're able to grow our partnerships by always coming up with new things, pushing the limits of the product support that we're trying to deliver together with our customers. And Mavenode is a leading provider of AI-powered product support solutions. What that means more specifically is that we specialize on hardware companies, so EV charging like Easee, gardening equipment like Husqvarna, audio devices, Jabra, etc. A few customers of ours. Hardware companies of all sizes to improve their product support by automating those repetitive support inquiries. So technical troubleshooting, how to spare part selection, etc. And then we try to marry this then with live support and agent empowerment by having that seamless handover from the self-service. But today I'm not the main guy, and I think most of you here joined to hear Ross, which I'm thrilled and honored to have by my side then. And in addition to being a very funny guy, because I know Ross from before, obviously, and also having the most awesome Scottish accent that I think you all will be a bit jealous of at the end of the call. He's also the global strategic manager at Easee. So Ross, if you want to say a few words about yourself and the work you do at Easee.
Sure, thank you for the kind words, Niels. Yeah, I'm Ross Simpson. I work for Easee. We are the EV charge point manufacturer based in Norway. My role at Easee is the global strategic manager for customer excellence. So yeah, a lot of you will have similar roles that are maybe inquiring today. And it's my job to look at how we are going to support our customers moving forward, not in the short term, but in the long term. So I can introduce you a little bit about Easee. I've been here for 3 years. We are an electric vehicle charge point manufacturer. We started off with 3 people in 2018 and grew to 550 plus in 2023. And the reason why this was possible is a little bit off topic, but I'm hugely involved in Easee itself, and we base everything that we do around our values and our culture. We speak about people first, money follows. You'll see a love heart beside my head, which is one of the main values that we have. It interlinks with respect, with trust, with openness, with honesty, integrity, and that's how we want to conduct business as well with our partners, and that's partly why we're here today, but we'll go into that in a little bit more detail very soon. So yeah, the EV charging on our side, we've got over 1 million devices online. We've got over 650,000 chargers installed and connected to the cloud today. Our sales is predominantly to partners, and by partners I mean installation companies, wholesale, energy, fleet. We don't sell B2C today, so we don't sell directly to customers. So a lot of the support comes today, supporting partners, supporting installers, but we also support end customers. So as you can understand, the level of knowledge that we need to support varies a lot. You know, there's many different customers. Some are tech savvy, some are very new, some are getting pushed through it through companies. So yeah, it's a wide range of people that we're trying to support. And just to finish on the note about Easee, you know, our goal is to have the world's most satisfied customers. It's quite cliche. I think that's everybody's goal, but we really believe that we can do it. And they know that we'll be there when they need us. And to do this, we need to have the most advanced systems, and we need to partner up with the most advanced companies who are looking at the bigger picture so that we don't have to at times.
Yeah, obviously happy to be a little part of this journey, and even though there's a lot of things to do still, I think we've come a long way still. So thanks, and going into the discussion a little bit, kind of breaking it down to a set of questions here. Going back in time a little bit to before we started working together, diving into the problem space, like what were the issues you were experiencing back then? What was the pain in the organization ultimately leading to you reaching out to Mavenoid?
Yeah, I think knowledge was a huge gap. I think that's well known in every industry. But what we found was that we had repetitive issues. We had mundane requests, which were really, really simple to answer and could be done automated, but we didn't know how. And the information that we had was stored in a place that customers, yeah, especially in the UK, people really don't want to go and find an answer. They find it easier to pick up the phone. But we had to get the information available so that the users could actually find it themselves and help, because we see a lot more of our users, especially in the EV world, they want to help themselves. But with the repetitive issues and the mundane requests that we've seen, it was constant. It actually reduced time for learning for our teams. So in Easee, our people are our biggest asset. They always have been and they always will be. And we want to always improve our teams with knowledge, with technical ability. So because of these repetitive tasks that were coming through as support tickets, it was really difficult to find the time for that. So yeah, I'll touch on that in a little bit further down the line, but we also didn't know at which point within that customer support journey where we were losing them. We didn't know at what point they had tried to look. We don't know how relevant the information was, because what we got was a ticket straight away. So we had to insert a buffer between that to allow the customers to try and support themselves, but also for our team to be able to support the customers that really need the help when charging doesn't work or there's issues with their vehicle. So yeah, and another reason why we went into it, as I kind of commented on earlier, we grew from 3 people to 550 in 5 years. So we had to find something that allows our support team to scale, because again, I'll touch on it in a little bit longer, but when you add more and more people, you almost mask the problem. We had to find some way to find the source of the issue and allow people to try and help themselves. Of course, not everything is going to be able to be, you know, automatically supported, but it gives us a better understanding as to where that lies, because we didn't have that before.
Yeah, and I mean, it's classic, right? Like, there's also a lot of tools out there. People are trying to promote self-service and so on, but really nailing that motion, like what having those pains within the org, like what made you then go out on the market, have a look at what was out there, and then finally go with Mavenoid? What would you say sets us out a little bit from the competition that's out there?
Yeah, sure. It's actually quite a simple one to answer, to be totally honest. Again, as I spoke about, we talk about values, and it's a huge part of what we do. It's how we've grown to where we are today. It's how we operate. And when Tilda and Karina had first reached out, you instantly know straight away if you're going to work with somebody, right? And throughout that process, you know, just in the interim, they took time and really understood what the issues were. And they came back with a proposal which was so fine detailed to exactly how we can reduce the issues that we're having and improve what we need to improve within that first sort of week period. So going on from that, you look at the process and how that was done, you look at the team, but also we do our research into every sort of partner vendor that we work with, and the values that were shared between the two companies is the same when we talk about love, integrity, trust, honesty, openness. We can really see that in the partnership. But also on a more technical basis, we can talk about the values. I could talk about them all day, but when we look into the more technical aspects, when I seen the system and understood a little bit more how it worked and had that sort of trial to see how it's used, it was the usability of the system. It was the availability to change things yourself, to understand where that's going wrong. It was really easy to use. You know, when you see it in action, for example, you look at Husqvarna and other companies, I went through the flow as if I was a customer with an issue, and it was great. It was a usable experience. It was comfortable. You knew where you had came from and where you went to by the way it's set up. So looking from a customer perspective as well, we wanted something that they would actually enjoy using, because that first impression is everything. When they see something and they don't like it, they won't go back. If they see something and they do like it and it's easy and they get the results they want, then they will always return and try and do that.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I guess as well, the neat thing is that we have this kind of partnership, right? Where there's a bigger picture, there's the whole hardware support landscape where we're hosting, webinars like this, but then also get-togethers, like interacting with other customers and realizing, hey, many of these problems, many of these things are we're not alone in this, right? And then there's learnings to be made through us from other companies, and really take on that longer term perspective and partnership angle. So really,
yeah, absolutely. I think as well, just to touch on that point, it becomes a community. People are there to help. There's many different people experiencing pretty much similar issues. Of course, it's going to be very, very different from place to place, but we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to provide the best support possible. And as you say, when you introduce ourselves to others, it's a community to help each other, which was key. It was huge. We share learnings, and that's the only way everybody can get better.
If you don't know the Maven platform that well, then more on the technical side or kind of functionality side, what pieces of the platform would you be using today within Easee?
Yeah, sure. So what we use today, as I said, when we were missing out on that journey, we didn't understand where the customers were going wrong. So what we now do today and leverage on the platform is feedback categorization. So we understand what's went wrong, where the gaps are, and we can utilize that for us to improve it, for the customers to let us know what's missing, and also for ultimately our product teams to make changes or introduce new features which customers want, because it's quite easy to introduce things that we think customers would want, rather than actually truly understanding what the customers needs are. Of course, we leverage the self-help on the website, but my goal at the start of this was to find something that can support our customers within the app. So something which your customers can use and click on and try and help themselves without actually leaving our Easee app. That was huge for me, because, in other instances, you may say they have to go to the website, and then when they're done this, they have to raise a support ticket. The flow of it going inside our Easee customer app, and we also have an installer app as well, so it's segregated. It allows them to try and self-help, point out where the issues are, provide suggestions for fixes, and then at the end, if it can't be solved, and of course we know that not everything can be solved, then it gives a direct feed to our customer support team to be able to help that customer as efficiently as possible. With that, and it all ties in a little bit with the feedback categorization and the app support. The analytics tool, we use that on a weekly basis. You know, you actually become a little bit obsessed with it, because you see that percentage going from week to week, you know, 1% and 2% going up, down, and then increasing. So the analytics tool, it gives a true indication as to where the gaps are. And it's not only like, this is where you lost, it will give you 3 and 4 different, you know, cut parts of that journey to say, this is where they started, this is how they moved into something else. Probably not explaining it very well if you don't know the system. It starts to cut it up into more bite-sized pieces to understand.
But by percentage, there we would be referring to self-service resolution rate, right? Which is like an industry term. We talk about it also as a differentiator when comparing to other systems and other setups and so on. So deflection versus resolution, right? Where we're usually like this number that we're tracking is usually the SSR, the self-service resolution rate. So we really want to make sure that we do take the end user through to resolution. And by that, we would, of course, take that away from some other bucket, right? Whether that be a phone call or a ticket being logged, etc. And yeah, it's funny you should mention also on the feedback side, and kind of sometimes I think you'd think about product support in a bit of a silo, because we're responding to customer inquiries and inquiries and all these things, but really there's this whole ecosystem around it, right? With feeding back to product, and we're understanding how the market is actually responding to the product launches that we're making. So bridging that gap, let's say, between support and product development is something I know you talk a lot about, and yeah, maybe we should talk about that, you know, in a better way. But that's been really nice for me to see on the Easee deployment, that we really managed to fit Mavenoid into this larger picture, using it for the feedback into product and respond quickly to whatever we see there out on the market.
Yeah, absolutely. When we give the product team, it's real data. It's something that they can actually use and see. Because time's gone by, you would be doing it off a hunch, or you know, you can't really categorize properly. So it really helps a product team to understand when they've got something tangible in front of them that they can work from and see the impact that it's having on customers in different markets and different languages and so on and so forth.
There was a quick question here in the chat from Pascal, and he's wondering about implementation. So if you were to remember back on the implementation side there, like how much time did it take? How was the experience generally? Would you mind chatting about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure, no worries. So we started with Mavenoid back in February 2022. And just as a bit of background, we had taken on a contract in the UK, and with this contract, we had a specific customer, and the customer was averaging around 2,500 calls per month, with an average of 14 minutes per call. So we worked it out that we needed roughly about 86 people to cope with the demand. It was not possible. So talking about the implementation phase now. So we probably weren't the customer that you guys would have wanted right at the start, because when we had our first call in mid-Feb, I had said that we were planning to go live with our partner on the 1st of April. 6 weeks is not a long time to implement this. So the first call was around mid-February, signed, and you know, you guys had came with a full onboarding plan, a full project from start to finish, hours required, how many people would be required, what type of person would be required, which really helped us, because we could then understand the availability, the capacity that we would need from our end to make this work, to make it perfect, to make it go live on April the 1st, because I know myself that was a big ask, because there was 11,000, there was about 1,100 articles for each product to be put into the self-help system. So it was a big ask. So our go live date was April the 1st, and I can say that it was implemented and live on the 25th of March, which allowed us some time for testing as well, thanks to Kevin on that respect. He probably worked a lot of overtime those few weeks to get that going. So my experience Genuinely, it's one of the best that I've had when onboarding a new partner. And the reason for that was the planning. It was from start to finish. Okay, this is the goal. This is the target. This is the dates we need to hit. This is what I need from you by these dates. If you don't have it by these dates, we can't do it by that. And that's good. That gave us the push as well to get the right people in place to get that going. Yeah, again, I go back to the people, the experience. Always there, especially in that phase. Nothing was too hard. We were very fresh into the world of self-help, and the training that was provided to let us ultimately adjust the system ourselves. Yeah, it was absolutely spot on. Nothing but good things to say about it.
That's yeah, I hope that's clear for the audience as well. There's more questions on ROI, so return on investment being more quantitative here. Would you want to talk a little bit about kind of your goals on the CSAT side, self-service side, and so on, and how implementing Mavenoid has impacted those kind of hard KPIs?
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we can take it. We probably take it from the top if we talk about the self-resolution rate. We roughly estimated, just based on the data from the web, from our help center that we had, that maybe 15 to 20%, which was an estimate, of customers were resolving things themselves with the website. It varied every month, but what we're seeing now is that we have a self-resolution rate. So that is a customer who will come in, ask a question, and they will be able to resolve the issue within the help. That's now went from 20 to greater than 70%, which is huge. So let's put that into a tangible perspective. Based on maybe around 10,000 customers per month using the system, we save around 7,000 calls and cases to our team, as again for those mundane tasks, for installation videos, because the information is kept in the one place and it's easy to use. Of course, 70s, as far as I think, Niels, you might be able to answer this, is a really good resolution rate. But we're always trying to improve that. Of course, this is what we do. We try and improve. So, but yeah, as I said before, we had that specific customer client who was averaging about 2,500 calls per month, which would then pass to us directly with about 14 minutes per call. That's now down to roughly about 1,000 calls, but they are 3 minutes per call. So we've massively reduced. So it's when we put it into numbers, we went from 48 people required for this one contract down to 6. So that's the impact that it had. Again, the structured information, when you look at the return on investment, we've actually got data to share and improve on. Of course, customer satisfaction increased as a whole. We're now sitting about 93% satisfaction for the course of the past year. As I said before as well, the people side of things, our employees, our internal satisfaction has grown, because what it allowed is people to get, really in-depth technical. We took away those tasks which somebody had to do. It's the usual story, but we automated it so we can allow people to grow. That's what we're all about. We want people to grow within their role and grow their knowledge, because ultimately it will make us better, and obviously the customers will get more. We'll get better support ultimately. So.
Which is a huge thing as well, right? Like, you think about these tools and you're driving ROI, you're cutting costs, etc. But also, like, there's a huge problem with attrition within customer support orgs, and kind of maintaining personnel and making sure people stay and continue investing in their knowledge and going deeper into the different systems and so on. So I know you talk a lot about kind of the importance of the team and making sure that everyone feels fulfilled in what they do and so on. So that angle is also, I think, quite interesting to discuss and consider when implementing solutions like this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We had done the event last year together as with a few of the Mavenoid partners, and I was shocked. Of course, customer support is the largest rate in any sort of domain that we work in, and it is what it is. But for us, we spend so much time giving people knowledge, and it's not so much the cost of people, it's the time that you give to get their knowledge up to speed. And if you're not growing that, if you're not nurturing that person and their knowledge, you might lose them, because they'll run out they'll run out of attention span. They want something new. Whereas with this, we can continually try, at least, to keep growing their knowledge and keep them within our customer excellence domain, because it's quite often that people use that as a stepping stone for somewhere else. So we try and build that knowledge to keep them within our team.
And how will we continue doing that, like pushing the limits here and developing new things? What's next here from a product standpoint?
From Mavenoid with what use?
Yeah, like how would you foresee our partnership in a year or so? Let's say what's on the horizon.
Yeah, sure. That makes more sense now. With that entail with what we've spoken about today, the good thing about what Mavenoid do is that they do a lot of the work around what's coming, what's new, what's next. Mavenoid don't stay in the one position. Yeah, they make what they've got great, but they always continually try and look at the next thing. What's the next thing? What's the key word around the world just now? It's AI, of course it is. It's the main thing that's going on just now. So we want to start to look into using AI to eliminate daily tasks, increasing efficiency, pre-filling customer inquiries, but supported by our team, which again increases the time that we've got available to give more knowledge to the team to then look into those much harder issues that we're seeing. Of course, we operate around in about 20 countries at the moment, and we spoke about scalability. We want to utilize growing to more markets with one or no team, so have self-help within there, at least for the starting point. And we can do that because for those of you who don't know, within the platform, there's a translation system. It's a management system that's built in. So ultimately, you can move into a new country, but you don't need a full-time writer in a local language. You just need somebody who can cover that off to allow us to scale into multiple markets at the same time. We've also got new products launching as well in the coming months, which is really exciting. So again, it provides coverage for new products for partners to allow them to be able to talk about it in the correct way. The information is centralized. And I think just going into a little bit more, the full screen AI guided help center, which is coming, which looks a little similar to the self-help today, because what we are seeing is content is in one place and it has to be completely translated from one language to the other, and it's really time consuming. Whereas not only does the help center use AI to guide you through and SEO, it also translates, so it reduces the requirement for having somebody on these articles 24/7 trying to get them up to speed to get them published for moving in to new markets.
Thanks, Ross. I know we're a bit out of time. Let's quickly go through. There's one more question around the size of the support team. How large is your support team? Any rule of thumb when it comes to how to staff the side that operates Mavenoid? So do you mind just running through that a little bit, how it works on the back end for your team specifically? Yeah. And feel free to jump. Everyone that has things to go to will just run over 1 minute or two.
Yeah, sure. As I say, our support team grew to roughly about 70 as a whole. We have one person who looks after Mavenoid. It's not a full-time role, so for us, we get roughly around between 10 and maybe 13,000 tickets per month or conversations. So if that's a rule of thumb to go by, that's all I can give you. Hopefully that sort of gave you an indication as to how we are working today. But as I say, it's not a full-time role for that person, because the data that it gives you, it just takes that time to understand what's required from our end rather than the system. The systems is very much automated in that respect as well.
Yeah, once you're up and running, it's kind of, you know, smooth sea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, I know we're a bit over time, so I want to take the opportunity to thank everyone for joining. People joined live and people who will be watching this recording afterwards. Thank you so much, Ross, for coming on to the call. I think it's super nice to have like spotlight sessions like this with customer hours. So hopefully I'll see more of the participants here in the future as well if we do similar things. And wishing you all a great day and a nice summer ahead.
Thanks for having me. See you soon.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.